I can't hear
Thank
music
you.
though.
Thank you very
There's
much.
music in the background?
Now there is. Really? I have music though. Music, we have every broadcast. I can have it for you.
Welcome into TD Place as the Ottawa Fury FC face off against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and Ottawa Pittsburgh facing off in the Eastern Conference Final as well. But we'll focus on this Ottawa Pittsburgh matchup, and also a happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there watching. You have some soccer mom that you'd like to thank your mom for that.
The one thing that people forget is every single player on this field usually had a mother behind them that drove them to countless amounts of practices, countless amounts of games, tournaments, and probably still come out and watch them now. So you got to give love to the soccer moms.
Well, we'll see what the Fury can do here in this game as they're coming off a great game versus FC Edmonton in the Canadian Championship as they advance to face Toronto FC in a few weeks' time. And Jenna, just amazing for Ottawa to be playing another MLS side for the second year in a row. This one, a local rivalry in Toronto FC.
Yeah, I mean, what an incredible game, and I think their offense got off to a really good start. This is what they needed, especially Dos Santos, having that goal under his wing, building up that confidence. Hopefully he's going to come into the game extremely ready to play and ready to put a few more in the back of the net.
Yeah, you spoke about that opening offense, the Cito with the goal within the first minute to get that crucial away goal for Ottawa Fury, and that really lifted them to glory. Of course, Callum Irving did have that weird spill in net. He did throw on Twitter that that mistake won't happen again, where he missed the man behind him on a goal kick. But we'll see what Fury can do. Now, can they take this momentum? This is a good Pittsburgh Riverhounds team. They have 3 wins on the season. What can they do to beat this team? You
know, I think Coach Dalglish is just saying, stick to what we've done. Stick to our system. Don't try to change too much. And we're seeing it really come together. And, yeah, we're going to have a great game today.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have AJ Jackie back and Graham Ivory with the call here as the Ottawa Fury FC face off against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Coming up at TD Place, Avenir à la Place TD, August 21st, le 21 août, Guns N' Roses Not in This Lifetime Tour. October 3rd, le 3 octobre, Chris de Burgh and Band, A Better World Canadian Tour. June 9th, le 9 juin, PBR Monster Energy Tour. For tickets, visit tdplace.ca. Pour des billets, visitez placetd.ca.
Long-range effort is in! A terrific goal for Pittsburgh! A goal to nil to the Riverhounds. Victor Solto, that was a blast. Tack on here, and Feka playing Kelly. He steps over, and he puts it in off the post. That is a hat trick in the 66th minute.
53 goals. What an exciting play by Kelly. What an exciting lead up by Reno.
Good quick feet from Quinn, gets it to Boehner. Boehner out to Dakers. Dakers goes down the line, Boehner has space, crosses low. Shot from McLaughlin, and he's found the corner of the net. It is 1-1.
Out of the goal, the long shot goes in for OC. The goalie comes out. It was exposed, and OC able to take advantage to go on top 2-0.
Storm, clever ball inside and a clever turn as well. Meloto, he's found a good run from Belmar, charging into the area. Oh, it's another wonderful team goal from right to left and back again to the right. A clever turn from Meloto and a strong finish from Carlton Belmar. The Rangers off and running, 3-0.
And welcome back to TD Place in Ottawa as we get set for this one between Ottawa Fury FC and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. AJ Jackie, Graham Ivory with you. And, well, after a big win on Wednesday in the Canadian Championship to advance to the semifinals to take on Toronto FC, Ottawa will look for a win in the league here today.
Yeah, brimming with confidence now, AJ. A huge win sets up a Canadian Championship semifinal date against Toronto FC, but now that runs their unbeaten streak in all competition to 6 matches unbeaten, but we'll see some changes in their starting 11 here this
So the starting 11 brought to you by Gabriel Pizza, Ottawa's bigger, better pizza. Callum Irving, the Canadian international, in goal. 3-4-3 with Onwo Bassi, Ramon Martin Del Campo, and Kyle Venter. The back three in midfield, John Barden, Sergio Minicio. The captain, Lance Roseboom. And also on the right side, it's Eddie Edward. And then the three up front, Cito, along with
Nick Depew, who just recently
Salazar,
joined Ottawa Fury FC yesterday on loan from the Montreal Impact. And what a great time for him to join the squad, as you know, Paul Dalglish wanted to make sure that he got some rest in for Steven DeSantos. Scored a pair of goals in that win Wednesday night against FC Edmonton, but on the 3-2, the match-winning goal that allowed them to win 4-2 on aggregate, picked up a bit of an ankle injury, so better safe than sorry. Rest the big guy, and you bring in really another big guy, Nick Depew, 6'5", the Impact's first-round pick in this past year's MLS Super Draft. So a great addition for Ottawa Fury FC. Will play alongside Michael Salazar, who joined Ottawa on loan from the Impact 2 weeks ago. So a bit of familiarity between those two players there. So we'll see how things shape up top this afternoon for Ottawa Fury FC, with a couple of relatively new faces to the lineup in that starting three up top.
For Pittsburgh, it's a 4-4-2. Trey Mitchell is the keeper. You got Richie Duffy, Jamal Jack, Joe Greenspan, and Taylor Washington in the back four. Jack Thompson, Victor Sudo, Stephen Okai, and Marshall Hollingsworth in midfield. Corey Herzog and Kevin Kerr are the strikers. So big game here today for Ottawa, just looking to move up the standings and get their second win in the league. 1 win, 3 draws, 2 losses in 6 matches, 6 points. They sit 13th in the table. They do have matches in hand. The team that's 8th right now, for example, Orlando, 3 points up on them, but Ottawa 2 games in hand. As here's a cross from Cito, gets it just to the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's cleared away for an Ottawa throw. As we have a look at the starting, the keys to the game here today. Graham Ivory.
Key number 1, high pressure, AJ, and it was Ottawa's high pressure that served as the difference maker in Wednesday's win over FC Edmonton. Fury AFC must not give the Riverhounds defenders time to play the ball out of the back. That made Ottawa's offense look so dangerous Wednesday night. That style of play needs to continue. Key number 2, don't switch off. Pittsburgh has been a very resilient team this season, and with the excitement brewing for their Canadian Championship semi-final on May 23rd against Toronto FC, Fury FC must remain focused on today's match against the Riverhounds. And key number 3, build the fortress. With a pair of 0-0 draw at home in USL action this season, Fury FC have already proven tough to beat at home, but now they need to prove that they can dominate at home and bag all 3 points.
Cito with a good run, but Nick Depew just a little behind the defense when that ball was delivered, so the offside flag is up. 3rd minute, 0-0.
And Depew has just seen 7 minutes of action in MLS this season with the Montreal Impact, coming on as a sub in their season opening loss 1-0 away to San Jose. He's been an unused sub pretty much the rest of the season for the Impact.
And again, this is really where that deal with the Impact comes in handy when you're playing in 5 games in 15 days and lacking squad depth. If you didn't have those players, this will be an offside flag up against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Of course, it's an Ottawa-Pittsburgh doubleheader with the Penguins and Senators going tonight in Pittsburgh. Game 1 of that Eastern Conference Final Series. Del Campo just
recovered nicely.
Slipped off that ball. Good ball down the right side for Eddie Edward, and it goes off of him and out for a goal kick in the 4th minute.
Well, good recovery there by Ramon Martin Del Campo after slipping up there a bit. And puts a nice ball, switching it over to the right side for Eddie Edward, who made a good run down that right side. It's been raining for pretty much since last night, a light drizzle, but
I was going to say it's been raining since last year, basically.
But certainly something to be mindful of in terms of the speed of your delivery on the wetter surface. We saw it last weekend in that 0-0 draw against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Some miscues from players on both sides, having to adjust to the surface.
For those tuning in from Pittsburgh, flooding has been a major issue here in the last week in neighboring Gatineau and some of the outlying communities as well. So certainly can stop any time for the sake of them. Those dealing with any kind of flooding. 5th minute, 0-0 as the throw goes off Salazar. Comes back to Lance Roseboom, the captain. Plays this wide right. Eddie Edward. Moving this back to Ramon Martin Del Campo, the USL Team of the Week last week, and we'll hear from him as our player profile at halftime. Obasi back to the keeper, Irving.
Del Campo's been rock solid in the back for Ottawa this season, playing every minute of every match. Leads the team in clearances with 29, block shots with 7. And made about 2 or 3 very solid blocks last week in that 0-0 draw against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Another guy who was rock solid, especially on the defensive end of the game, was John Barden, who this time playing on the left side of the midfield. Typically plays out on the right-hand side. He was our man of the match last week, AJ.
Pittsburgh wins a throw here in the 6th minute. 5th game in 15 days for Ottawa, as I mentioned. 2 wins in the Canadian Championship over FC Edmonton. 1-0 at home, 3-2 in the return leg to win that 4-2 on aggregate and move on to play Toronto FC May 23rd and May 31st as Salazar wins it for Ottawa. Moving down the right side towards the byline, gets the cross in, a little too high for Depew. And it comes back into midfield as Roseboom wins back possession for Ottawa. The league matches in that stretch, a 2-2 draw at Charleston, and Salazar, good ball towards him with a ball across. Here's the shot that just kind of sliced off the foot of Cito as it comes back to Barden with the cross, headed clear by Jamal Jack. It's his forward for Okai, ahead for Hollingsworth, and Pittsburgh works it to the right side. So when you look at those last 4 matches, 2-2 in Charleston, 0-0 against Tampa Bay, and those are your top 2 teams in the USL East, and then back-to-back victories against FC Edmonton. Clearly Ottawa starting to play their best soccer of the season.
Now they've certainly found a rhythm now, AJ, and this afternoon taking on the side that's ranked 5th in the USL Eastern Conference in the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Presents a bit of a different challenge for the club, and as you mentioned, the 5th game in 15 days. The depth of the squad certainly going to be tested, and certainly a good benefit to Paul Dalglish. We see Kyle Venter getting a 2nd straight start in USL action this week out on the right side. And Shane McElhaney gets a bit of a rest, and he's available on the bench this afternoon. And the one player who's impressed me so far through the opening 8 minutes, AJ, has been Michael Salazar, and you can see what, kind of having a full week of training under his belt has done. Made a couple of good runs out on that right side, and that last delivery was spot on to Cito. He just couldn't hit it cleanly.
Free kick for Pittsburgh here as we enter the 9th minute. So it's delivered by Jack, and it comes back to Okai. Works it into the Ottawa half. Header won by Kyle Venter on the right.
Stephen Okai, 3rd season with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. He's a 2nd-round pick of the Philadelphia Union in the 2013 MLS Super Draft.
Ghanaian moves it ahead for Hollingsworth, and it's broken up here. Del Campo will play this right to Eddie Edward. Move to the halfway line, but Pittsburgh now in possession once again as they work it to their left back, Richie Duffy.
A couple players in the Pittsburgh squad that have been picked up by Philadelphia, or drafted by Philadelphia, I should say. Also included in there, Taylor Washington, the right back. He spent last year on loan at the Bethlehem Steel. This is his first season with the Riverhounds. He was drafted by Philadelphia with their first-round pick in 2016. And of course, the Riverhounds affiliated with the Columbus Crew. Marshall Hollingsworth, the one player in their starting 11 who's on loan from the Crew. The other who's available from the bench, Abuchi Obinwa, the midfielder, who also spent time in the second Bundesliga with the Hanover under-19 side.
Here's Obasi for Ottawa. Moves this forward, trying to pick out Depew. It comes to him through Barden, now Roseboom. Crossing the right side. Not a great ball, looking for Edward. It's broken up, and here's Okai. Plays this on the left. And it comes back to Greenspan. Now to Taylor Washington. Quick little 1-2, Washington with Jack Thompson. Washington again, 2 red shirts in the vicinity, and it goes off one of them for a throw. That went off Benicio, but here's Hollingsworth. 25 yards out, lays it off on the right. Ball into the penalty area, and Callum Irving goes up for it as he came off his line to grab that cross.
Good delivery and an even better read by Callum Irvin to take charge, come off his line. It was played into that area that can often give goalkeepers questions about whether you stay or go. Irving read that well. 4 shutouts from his last 6 matches. That includes the Canadian Championship action. Blanked FC Edmonton in the first leg, conceding a pair on Wednesday night in that 3-2 win.
Pittsburgh in possession just at the halfway line on the right side. Hollingsworth moves it middle of the park. It comes back on the right for Duffy. Now Hollingsworth. Jack Thompson. Here's Okai. Center circle for the Brazilian Suto. Now on the left, Washington. And Roseboom wins it back for Ottawa. Quick little 1-2, and he's got some space in front of him. Lance Roseboom. The ball that's intercepted, but he gets it back. Roseboom now to Cito. Plays it out wide on the right for Edward. Now Venter, and push it across the back 3, just short of the halfway line as we enter the 13th minute here at TD Place. And we are scoreless. Here's Obasi making a run. 25 yards out, pushes this on the left side for Barden. One-time ball inside the penalty area, Depew, but that is cleared away. Salazar goes after it. He's muscled off the ball by Hollingsworth. And Pittsburgh takes possession inside their own half. Jack across for Greenspan to the left back, Taylor Washington. Now to Sudo. Head for Hollingsworth. Just inside the Ottawa half. Sudo with a good ball for Kerr. He's tackled. Now Kerr, his ball met by Eddie Edward. And Fury gained possession. It's Benicio. Not much in the way of chances so far in the opening 13 minutes.
Well, both sides playing it very cautious, and if you look at Pittsburgh's record, 10 goals for, 10 goals against. Conceded quite a number of goals to start the season, but if you look at how they've played in their last 2, blanking their opposition, Harrisburg and Toronto FC, a pair of 1-0 victories for the Riverhounds, as they've started to shore things up defensively.
Pittsburgh in possession. It's worked for Greenspan. His ball over the top will go out for an Ottawa throw. Played in for Salazar. He couldn't keep possession. It comes back to Richie Duffy. Now Hollingsworth. Suto. Works this wide left. And Ottawa wins it back as they play it to the keeper, Callum Irving, who had, it was mentioned off the top, a bit of a howler in that 3-2 win, but against Edmonton on Wednesday. The ball goes high into the air, just edge of the 18-yard box for Pittsburgh. Comes to Lance Roseboom now. Roseboom into the middle for Cito. And Cito goes down, but Roseboom wins it back on the left side. Barden with the cross. And it's flicked on and just missed a pew, and it goes out for an Ottawa throw.
Well, Ottawa certainly looked dangerous with the deliveries coming in from the left side from John Barden. Good battle there just moments ago between the 6'5" Nick Depew and 6'6" defender Joseph Greenspan.
Throw from Obasi to Barden, and gaining possession, the Brazilian Suto is getting a touch in there on him was Obasi, but it comes back to the keeper, and Trey Mitchell will launch this back to the halfway line. Here's Okai. Oh, good work by Obasi to win it away from him, and Obasi leads the attack right up the middle. Just couldn't link up with Depew, and it's sent out for another Ottawa throw in the 17th minute, still scoreless.
Yeah, and you can just, bit of miscommunication there as Depew getting his first game in with the club, only had his first training session with the club yesterday after going through the medical yesterday morning. Good run there by Ottawa Obasi.
Foul called against John Barden, and so this will be a free kick for Pittsburgh inside their own half. Well, Fury will certainly welcome a bit of a break in the action as they don't play until Saturday in New York against Red Bulls 2, but then it's busy once again with another, that starts another stretch of 5 games in 15 days. So again, important to have that depth in the squad and to be able to rotate it with these upcoming Canadian Championship matches against Toronto FC. As the ball just doesn't get to Kevin Kerr, and keeper Irving able to come out. Back to Callum Irving. Yeah, certainly it was a forgettable moment for him on Wednesday, but they're maybe not in that spot, having given up what looked like it was going to be a sure away goal. The save on Alan Zebi, just incredible in the first leg of that match. So you give up that away goal, and it's a completely different tie whatsoever going back to Edmonton.
Absolutely.
So you will forgive Callum Irving for his blunder against the Eddies on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's the reason why they went to Edmonton with the clean sheet, and between that save and of course that early road goal from Cito, 39 seconds into the match, the second fastest goal in Canadian Championship history and the fastest goal in club history for Ottawa Fury. Those were the 2 real key moments in that preliminary round for Ottawa that sees them advance.
Fury work it in for Obasi. It comes back to Del Campo, and he'll send it to the keeper, Irving. Kyle Venter. Ahead, it's chested down by Nick Depew, and Jamal Jack will send this out of touch for an Ottawa throw right inside their own half. Here's Depew on the right with the ball in behind Salazar. And this deflects out for a Pittsburgh throw. Comes all the way back to the Ottawa keeper, Irving. Now on the left side, here's John Barden. His ball deflects out, and it went off of Barden last, so this will be a Pittsburgh throw as we've now played 20 minutes here at TD Place. Still scoreless. And yet to see a real clear-cut chance for either side as Roseboom wins it back for Ottawa. Here's Obasi. On the right side, Barden. It did just go across the touchline, so this will be another Pittsburgh throw. Duffy gets this in. Malsuto. Oh, good ball, but trying to bend that in towards Kevin Kerr. Just couldn't connect, and it is grabbed by the keeper, Callum Irving.
Needed a bit more of a curl there from Richie Duffy, who is enjoying his first pro season with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. He's finished his NCAA career. Played with VCU. And was drawn into that role at left back since the injury of former Fury FC defender Rich Bolshin, who sustained a Achilles injury that will, for obvious reasons, rule him out for the duration of the season. Remember last year against FC Edmonton in that first leg of the Canadian Championship, picked up a pretty severe hamstring injury that ruled him out for the better part of that season as well.
Roseboom does well to win this one for Ottawa as they push forward 30 yards out. It's Cito making a run down the left with the ball in, and it's juggled by the keeper, Trey Mitchell. It deflects out as it's cleared off of Thompson and out for an Ottawa throw. Good effort there by Cito, the first time either keeper has really been troubled. I know Irving had to make a pretty good play on a Pittsburgh cross.
Cito, you could see that goal just really giving him a much needed boost of confidence, because after he scored inside the opening minute on Wednesday, not too long after, he had another chance that was kept out by the crossbar.
Born in the United States but grew up in Spain, a big fan of Julian de Guzman and Deportivo La Coruña, where he grew up. And of course, de Guzman, Canada's most capped player and two-year member of Ottawa Fury FC, now an assistant coach alongside Paul Dalglish and Bruce Grobelar.
De Guzman will be helping coach against a club that he had some success with in the Canadian Championship. He won 3 Canadian Championships with Toronto FC during his time there.
Glad it was just success. Just wondering there for a second.
Hey, we all remember what he said at the press conference.
Yes, we do. Well, for those that don't know, as Fury push forward, it's Eddie Edward inside the 18-yard box with a shot. It comes back to Salazar. He gets the cross in, and this will be an Ottawa corner. So dangerous attack again here for Ottawa. Yeah, just to revisit the comments from Julian de Guzman, he basically said that, well, playing soccer was better than what most people would say is the best thing in the world.
I was curious how you were going to approach that.
Here's Cito with the corner. It'll be a left-footed delivery. An in-swinger from the far corner flag, and No, he'll play this back towards John Barden. He'll get the cross in. Flicked on by Eddie Edward, but doesn't trouble the keeper, and Trey Mitchell has it for the Riverhounds as we now enter the 25th minute at TD Place. 0-0, Ottawa Fury FC and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Yeah, pretty balanced so far. Possession slightly favoring Ottawa at 51.3%.
A reminder to tune in to Ottawa's premier soccer show. I think it's the only soccer show, so
it must be premier.
Not a lot of competition now. But it's Corner Kicks on TSN 1200 from all the latest in the beautiful game from the capital and around the world. Normally on Mondays, but this week because of Ottawa-Pittsburgh, it'll be Tuesday at 6 o'clock on TSN 1200 as Pittsburgh wins a free kick here in the 25th minute, left of center. And the delivery, well, the offside flag is up here against Pittsburgh, so that header from big Joe Greenspan wouldn't have counted as it missed the target. And Ottawa takes possession here.
Greenspan joining Pittsburgh on loan from Minnesota United. He was a second-round pick of Colorado in the 2015 MLS Super Draft and a grad of the U.S. Naval Academy. Played 4 years in the NCAA for Navy under current Pittsburgh Riverhounds head coach David Brandt, who coached 7 seasons in the NCAA for Navy. Prior to that, 21 years as an assistant coach and then as head coach at Messiah College, his alma mater. And that's where another one of his players, midfielder Jack Thompson, came from. He played at Messiah College.
Long ball flicked on here by Kevin Kerr, and it comes back on the near side for Ottawa's John Barden. Trying to pick out Depew, 2 blue shirts in the vicinity, and quick little back heel. That doesn't work from Greenspan. Now it comes to Salazar for Ottawa, and couldn't get the turn as right in his face was Taylor Washington, and Pittsburgh back in possession.
Yeah, might have had his heel clipped just a little when he was trying to play the ball into the path of Sergio Minicio.
Fury back in possession. Inside their own half, Obasi, halfway line on the near touch line. It's John Barden with a ball that's a little too much for Cito, and that'll go out for a goal kick as Cito and Barden try to get their line straight.
And those two players very familiar with one another. Played against each other for a year in Iceland and then with each other for a year.
As Pittsburgh makes a run down the right. Laying off that one was Kevin Kerr. Great hustle by Corey Herzog to try and prevent the goal kick, but just misses out on that, and it will be goal kick for Ottawa, 28th minute. 0-0 at TD Place.
Herzog, the leading scorer for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, scoring 4 of their 10 goals this season. This guy has got experience at, well, pretty much every level you can imagine in North America. He's played in the NCAA, he's played PDL, he's played in USL with Orlando City, played in the NASL with both FC Edmonton and the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and has also played in the MLS with the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Pretty good CV there. As Okai has it center circle for Pittsburgh. Ahead for Kevin Kerr, the Englishman. Knocked off the ball, Minicio for Eddie Edward for Ottawa. Edward will play this inside the Pittsburgh half. Comes back to Okai though as the Riverhounds regain possession. Oh, one back by Minicio. Ahead for Salazar. Has a man on the right. Good ball for Eddie Edward. Here's Eddie Edward with a cross towards Cito, and stepping up Jamal Jack. An important clearance as he sends this out for an Ottawa throw.
Well, again, the movement down the sidelines has worked very well for Ottawa this afternoon. Both Salazar and Edward linking up on the right side, and Barden and Cito have linked up well on the left.
Here's Onwo Bassi for Ottawa. Center circle. Ahead for Roseboom. He'll play it back to the halfway line. It's Kyle Venter. Now to Roseboom. Back to Del Campo, and he'll reset completely as Ottawa will start their attack from the back. Callum Irving ahead for Ramon Martin Del Campo. Born in Mexico, but moved to the United States when he was 2 years old. As it comes to Cito, 20 yards out on the left side. Moves it off for Barden. He'll get the cross in, and this is headed away by Greenspan. Comes right to Ottawa's Onwo Bassi. And it goes off Obasi, and this will be a Pittsburgh throw as we are now at the half-hour mark at TD Place, still scoreless.
Oh, Bassi's feet were even too quick for himself on that last play, but just he brings such a different element to the game. There's no player like him in the squad, and I would argue no player like him in the USL. The futsal background that Obasi brings, the style that he has. You see a guy 6'4", the way he can move, the way he can just kind of put his foot down on the ball. Had a good run earlier in this match when he went right through the middle. One thing we don't talk about very much, you talked earlier about the Ottawa-Montreal relationship and how some of these players coming here have certainly helped in the depth of squad, but
here's a run by Cito, has Salazar with him. Lays it off for Salazar, 20 yards out on the left. Here's Salazar, now inside the penalty area. Plays it back out to Depew, and Ottawa needed a little bit better there as it's cleared out for an Ottawa throw, and down on the play is Jamal Jack for Pittsburgh, and he'll get some treatment.
Yeah, he claimed that an elbow came up on Cito. Didn't see much from our vantage point. Have to see if there was anything there, but just to my earlier point was, well, there's that other fact that there may be players that Montreal may at some point find interest in Fury FC, and one that would immediately come to mind would be Onwo Obasi, another who has yet to play a game this year, but look forward to his return likely sometime next month, and that's Carl Howarth.
Yeah, certainly Ottawa's missed Carl Howarth, and his goals up front. Had 9 league goals last year and was Ottawa's player of the year. Just 5 league goals in 6 matches. They do have, of course, 4 in the 2 Canadian championship matches against a very good defensive side, FC Edmonton, but no doubt Howarth's absence has been felt in USL League play.
Well, and you know, you don't have another player who has the same kind of skill set that Howarth brings, and not only will it certainly up the competition level for starting minutes once he returns, but he just brings a different element to their game with the pace and the style of play that he brings.
So go out for an Ottawa throw just inside, well, deep inside the Pittsburgh half. As I think they're going to look for a long throw here from Obasi. 34th minute, 0-0. As Ottawa looks to climb the table. A win today would put them level on points with Cincinnati and Orlando, who are 7th and 8th in the table, which are the last 2 playoff spots, as Roseboom runs forward, but he's brought down by Sudo, and this will be a very dangerous spot for a free kick for Ottawa. Dead center, 28 yards out, and no Ryan Williams, but certainly some other players like Cito that can be very dangerous from this spot. both Cito and Salazar looking this over. The right-footed Salazar and the left-footed Cito. It is a little bit left of center, so will we see Salazar? No, it'll be Cito, and his ball goes off the wall right to Barden, though, with the cross towards the back post. And important with Sergio Minicio in there that the keeper, Trey Mitchell, got off his line to grab that ball.
Yeah, good first-time delivery from John Barden, recognizing that his players could advance much more easily than the Pittsburgh defenders could drop back. Solid play from Trey Mitchell to come out to claim it.
It's a great challenge there by Nick Depew to win possession back for Ottawa. They certainly have had the better of the possession the last 15 minutes or so.
Good ball.
One coming from Venter and goes out for an Ottawa throw inside the Pittsburgh half. Ball in for Salazar. Took a bump, and Pittsburgh will send this back inside the Ottawa half. It's Obasi. Now to the keeper, Irving. 36th minute, 0-0. Fury work at wide right, Kyle Venter. Ahead toward Depew, and it's cleared out for an Ottawa throw inside the Pittsburgh half. Throw taken by Edward for Salazar. Here's Salazar now moving to the middle of the park. Gets this wide left for Barden. Barden onto his right foot will get the cross inside the 18-yard box. Flicked on by Depew, but couldn't link up with Salazar, and the keeper gathers it, Trey Mitchell.
Yeah, right idea there from Nick Depew, trying to head that down into the path of Michael Salazar, but had to come more across center than towards goal. Trey Mitchell, first season with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Been part of the MLS League pool of goalkeepers since 2015. Spent a majority of the season last year with Sporting Kansas City. So likely his paths would have crossed with former Fury FC bench boss Mark DeSantos.
Free kick here for Pittsburgh. So come 35 yards out. Here's the delivery from Jack Thompson. Comes inside the penalty area and goes back to the keeper, Irving, and he's got no troubles on that one as just rolls it ahead for Kyle Venter. Trying to pick out Roseboom, but Greenspan uses his size to his advantage as he heads it away, but right to Michael Salazar. Now Eddie Edward. Salazar, 40 yards out into the middle for Ottawa captain Lance Roseboom. Plays this wide left on Obasi. Obasi will push forward near touchline. Now Roseboom, diagonal ball towards Edward. It's headed away by Washington. Salazar fouled, and that'll be a dangerous spot for a free kick again for Ottawa. About 30 yards out and a little right of center. So this will be certainly an area for Cito to try and work some magic, about 28 yards out. Salazar looking over it as well with his right foot. The left-footed Cito likely going to put this in. Cito with the delivery and just misses that on the effort towards goal. Misses the target. It will be a goal kick low, but Still a little wide right. 40th minute, and 0-0. Ottawa Fury FC and Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Yeah, right idea from Cito. Knew that he had to go low there, kind of get it up and over the wall, but the ball over curled on him and missed wide by about 3 yards.
Interesting, we've only seen one goal at TD Place here this season. This is the fourth match, and it came, well, 89th minute, but it was probably 88-59 on the scoreboard. It's almost a 90th minute goal as the ball comes toward Eddie Edward, but good work by the left back Taylor Washington to come across and send that out of touch for an Ottawa throw. But 0-0 draw against Toronto FC 2 in the home opener for Ottawa, then 0-0 against Tampa Bay in the league after that 1-0 victory over Edmonton in the Canadian Championship. So grabbing goals away from home, just haven't seen many here at TD Place.
No, but the one thing you do like of that, AJ, is that defensive record at home. And you know, Paul Dalglish spoke about it so much last season, saying, look, we got to try and make this place a fortress. It's a difficult place for teams to come here and win or take away any points. And well, while they have just the 2 draws in USL action here this season, both have a 0-0 scoreline.
Ooh, holy cow, that was a dangerous ball that went back to Callum Irving, and I thought that was out for a corner, and Ottawa fortunate. Well, first of all, they're fortunate it didn't lead to something worse, but
it would have been your fault because you started talking about it.
No, I said no goals at TD Place, just one total. I didn't say anything else about anything, for the record. But that wouldn't have been Callum Irving. Ooh, that was Obasi with the ball back to him. It was Del Campo. Yikes. Ottawa fortunate that it didn't go in, as Irving did very well to prevent the corner, which would have been out of nothing, and this will be a goal kick for Ottawa. 42nd minute, 0-0.
Well, we've been talking about the Canadian Championship, AJ, and of course the U.S. Open Cup is now well underway and drawing in to the second round that will begin very shortly, and Pittsburgh Riverhounds still competing there.
Fury go forward, it's Onwo Obasi, and he'll play it back to the keeper Irving.
Pittsburgh will be taking on Chicago FC United, and that game will come on the 17th of May for them. So while Ottawa Fury FC have been enduring these kind of 5 games in 15-day type schedules over the last couple weeks, now the U.S. teams and the USL will have to endure the same thing.
That was a great challenge by Minicio to win it for Ottawa. Salazar, quick little 1-2 with Eddie Edward trying to spring him on the right side. Good ball for him, and this will go out, well, they say off Eddie Edward last, and it will be a goal kick for Pittsburgh.
Good work by Salazar there, just to hold it up long enough to get by Washington and try and tuck it forward for Eddie Edward. Just got a second look at it there. I'm still not sure how it hit Edward to go out instead of it being a corner. It was a goal kick nonetheless.
Referee today, Francis Latulippe. Sorry, it's Caroline Chenard. Assistants Marie-Han Gagnon Chrétien, Lias Arfa, and Christopher Grabus is the 4th official. A late change.
Yeah, Francis Latulippe was supposed to be in the center today, and Caroline Chenard was to be the 4th official, but change not long before kickoff.
Come on.
Pittsburgh in possession as we are about to enter the 45th minute. Still scoreless here at TD Place. Okai gets this wide left, and now the ball for Richie Duffy. Leaves it off into the middle. Hollingsworth, and Coming across is Kyle Venter. To win it back for Ottawa as they push forward. Barden now center circle, Salazar. Trying to get this in for Lance Roseboom, and just a little too strong on that, and it comes back easily to the keeper, Trey Mitchell.
Bit too much weight on that ball from Michael Salazar. Again, Lance Roseboom kind of given that green light to make those runs forward.
Here's a Pittsburgh throw inside the Ottawa half. And they're going for the long throws. We await word on stoppage time. We will get a minimum of 1 minute of stoppage time. Long throw taken by Herzog, headed away. And now cleared by Minicio. Minicio went to head that, and going to kick it was Okai, and Ottawa wins a free kick. Inside their own half, and looking like a 0-0 scoreline going into halftime, barring a goal coming off this free kick from Del Campo. Del Campo will play this to his right for Venter. Headed away back to Kyle Venter towards Salazar, and this will be a Pittsburgh throw. And there is the halftime whistle here at TD Place, and not a ton in terms of chances, Graham, but Ottawa with a little more possession and a little better of the play, but 0-0 at halftime.
Yeah, Ottawa holding around 55% of the possession, AJ, and I think, was there one quality chance in that first half? I'm not too sure. Some good deliveries into the box from both the left and the right side. I think if anyone's going to, net that first goal, it's certainly going to be Ottawa Fury FC.
All right, let's go down and hear from the head coach, Paul Dalglish, in conversation with Sinisha Sindic.
Scoring chances on your side. What are your assessment of this first half?
Yeah, I think we've controlled the half with and without the ball. They've only had a couple of crosses into the box. I think the best chance was our own back pass. So, I'm really pleased with the way we controlled the play offensively and defensively. We know we've got into the final third quite a lot. With a little bit more quality, we could be winning this game by 2 or 3. So second half is just to keep doing the same thing, but show a little bit more quality in the final third and try and put away some of these chances.
A lot of games in a short period of time. How important is the depth of your squad in these games?
Yeah, for sure. It's not an 11-man game anymore. You've got to use your whole squad, and that's what we're doing today, and that's what we'll continue to do all season.
Good luck for the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
And there you have it. Paul Dalglish in conversation with Sinisha Sindic. So Ottawa just probably lacking a little quality in the final third here today.
Yeah, they're getting the ball into the right channel. We've seen Salazar in there. Cito's been in there. He probably had the best chance of anyone and just completely mishit it because he was almost center of goal. But we're seeing the right type of creativity coming from Ottawa, and ultimately just need to bury one in that second half.
Halftime score, Ottawa Fury FC 0, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. Coming up, we'll hear from Jenna Mosier in conversation with Tyler McDonald. But let's go now to our player profile. And this week, it's Ramon Martin Del Campo.
I was falling in love with the sport. And at that time, my dad was my hero. I mean, he still is. And being able to go every Sunday and watch his games, for me at the time, was like going to a professional game. Didn't really have a professional team in Chula Vista, but going to see my dad play, my dad like teaching me the way that the game of soccer is played, and then seeing him score a goal, that was super special. It almost came to the point where I was like tears of joy when I saw him score and taking off my shirt and slinging it around like if I was an ultra, you know? If you look at my hometown, not that many people go out and play college soccer. I think there was, from my graduating class, the ones that went and played college soccer were probably 3 or 2. It was a huge achievement to me. One, I didn't even know college soccer existed until I was like maybe 15 or 16 when I switched teams and got a new coach by the name of Brian Quinn. He sort of opened my eyes and like opened the doors to not only find a career but also get an education. And when that scholarship came in, when that offer from Dwayne Schaefer from UC Davis came in, I was ecstatic. It was a special moment for me and my family, and I knew this was a calling to keep pursuing the sport. It hurt, literally, and internally, you know, it's a big thing. But I mean, if you had to define me as a player, honestly, I have to show you that video. As painful as it may be, that's what I do for my team. I see it as a family, and I'd lay down my life for my family, and I would do the same for my team. I'd risk everything. I'd run through a brick wall for all my teammates. They're brothers to me, especially this locker room we have here in Ottawa. I've never been in a team that's been so family-orientated, that wants to have your back, even when they shouldn't. They want to be there. And to define me as a player, like I said, it's just, you have to see that video, and sure enough, you'll see what I'm willing to risk and what I'm willing to give for my team and my teammates and the city I represent.
Welcome to the Fury FC halftime show, and we'll see what's trending. Tom McDonald alongside Jenna Mosier. And first, we'll take a look at what the big news is. It's the Canadian Championship the Ottawa Fury FC have advanced in once again. They'll play an MLS side for the second straight year. This time will be Toronto FC, and we'll take a look at just the road to the CONCACAF Champions League. They receive Fury in the semis. I'll move on to the finals. Just a note as well as the potential playoff with Toronto FC, the 2016 champion. Of course, the 2017 champion will face off against Toronto in the rebrand of the CONCACAF Champions League that has happened this past year. But let's take a look at and let's focus on the performance that Fury have had so far in this Canadian Championship, Jenna. They've played outstanding versus Edmonton, 2 games, 2 wins versus Edmonton, and 4-2 aggregate win.
Yeah, and it can't be easy adjusting. I mean, when you're playing in regular season, plus you're playing a championship game, you are playing a lot. So I'm sure it has been challenging for them at times, especially when it comes to their legs. But it also is encouraging because there's nothing better than an inter-Canada rival.
No, absolutely. And for me, this whole Canadian Championship happens early in the season, and right when Fury is just starting to get their boots together, where in the States, the U.S. Open Cup, that happens towards the mid-season era. They're just about to start off in their 3rd round, the U.S. Open Cup. Does that early season, games bunched up like that have any difference between a mid-season form?
No. As long as they treat every game like it's a regular season game, or even better, treat it as a playoff game every single game. But as long as they keep focused, that the eye is the prize, and in the end, you just want to win. That's it.
Now, a star for not only in those 2 games, but of course in the game today is Callum Irving, and I'm sure you've heard the supporters chanting that he's the one for Ottawa Fury FC. He's been playing outstanding, and just your thoughts on the defensive game of Ottawa Fury and, of course, Callum Irving.
Callum has the confidence because he has such a solid defense that he can fully trust. And because he can trust his defense, he can now play off the line like Coach Dalglish wants, and can really settle into the system.
And for Fury, the back line, they've been playing outstanding as well. 3 clean sheets so far this season for the Fury, and it's been something that's been one of the big positives for Fury this season, hasn't it?
Yes, definitely. When you have such a strong defense, what you can do is you can focus on the parts of your game that need more improvement. Right now, the defense is the glue that holds this whole team together. So Coach Dalglish can now focus more on the offense, on the midfield, and just basically putting all the pieces together.
And finally, the other big news here in what's trending, of course, the announcement of the Canadian Premier League. big news in Canada for Soccer Canada in general. Here are some stats on it, as the founding cities will be Hamilton and Winnipeg. And of course, this is to encourage and grow professional soccer in Canada. 12 cities.
Wow.
That's been updated from 10 earlier on. Just this past couple of days, it's been updated to 12 cities that have been interested in getting a team in the Canadian Premier League, and there's thoughts of having more as well. It's huge for the Canadian Premier League, and of course, a new president as well.
Yes, there is a lot of young soccer players that are really excited about this because it's going to create a whole new pool for them to exceed in and another professional league for them to join.
And there you can see the new president. The 34th president of Canada Soccer is Steve Reed. He's been in soccer for more than 50 years and has been a board member since 2006. Someone with lots of experience with Canada Soccer, and I'm sure he'll lead the Canadian Premier League and hopefully what would be a great future.
He has the best of two things. He loves soccer, and he's got the experience, and he loves Canada Soccer.
Well, we'll see if the Canadian Premier League, what it will have in the next few years, and we'll see if that will help Canada Soccer grow. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, second half action here. 0-0, Pittsburgh and Ottawa tied after the first half. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
We built the USL into the largest Division II professional soccer league in the world. And now the time has come to announce USL Division III, America's professional third division league, completing the U.S. pro soccer landscape. It's time for your town, your team, your game. D3 will fuel local pride and local passion, creating a new legacy for the beautiful game and inspiring its tribal following across the country. This is professional soccer, built on a disciplined financial model and operational excellence, featuring exciting venues to thrill fans, in hungry new markets yearning for the game. USL Division III, professional, passionate, proven. Pro soccer starts here, coming in 2019. For more information, visit usld3.com.
And welcome back to TD Place. AJ Jakubek alongside Graham Ivory. 0-0 at halftime between Ottawa Fury FC and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And for Ottawa Fury, on the television side, we're seeing the highlights right now. For our radio listeners, really not a ton of opportunities for either side.
No, the chances have come in the attacking third for Fury FC. They just haven't been able to get a quality opportunity on Trey Mitchell, and he's done well to come out and challenge for some of the crosses that have been delivered into the box. We've seen Salazar, Depew, Cito, all of them attacking in the right channels, but it's just a matter of burying a quality opportunity on goal. The most dangerous chance came on a back pass from Martin Del Campo when he almost put it into his own goal, but Callum Irving able to knock that one away. 7-2 the shots favoring Fury FC in that opening half, both sides with a shot on target, but ultimately, as you said, AJ, there really hasn't been that quality opportunity that has forced a tremendous save from either goalkeeper through 45.
Let's have a look at the first half stats, and they're brought to you by Rico, making information work for Ottawa Fury FC. As you mentioned, the shots 7-2 Ottawa, 56% possession for Ottawa. Fouls even at 5 apiece. Corners just the one, and Ottawa had that.
Yeah, you can look. You see the possession, almost 56% in favor of Ottawa. Very fair. You look at the number of passing. Ottawa's at about, I think, 240, close to 250 through that opening half. Probably got about 50, 60 more than Pittsburgh. They've done all the right things. Again, they look very sound defensively. The most dangerous chance came from themselves, almost scoring on their own net. So Paul Dalglish will be happy with, again, how his side has performed defensively. Again, it's just a matter of finishing. They got to keep that high line of pressure. They've got a good performance so far from Salazar as well as Cito, and they have that big body in Nick Depew up there. Yes, he's still a little raw in terms of his experience with Fury FC because just trained with the team for the first time yesterday, but he'll be a player that could be a difference maker. That big 6'5" frame, if they can kind of find him like they've been trying to find Steven DeSantos so far this season, that could be what puts Ottawa ahead here in the second half.
Well, what are we looking for in terms of potential subs in the second half?
Well, I think you're going to see Tucker Hume and likely a direct swap for Nick Depew unless they decide to just really go with the two big guys up there and have Depew and Tucker Hume up top. And that would make for certainly an ability to attack with two big men like that, 6'5", a pair of 6'5" attackers. You imagine if they threw Obasi up top, you get 6'4". You have another 6'4" guy in Steven DeSantos, albeit he's not available today. So certainly Paul Dalglish, no shortage in size. Might even see, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Jimmy Shamar-Sano come into this game, just the pace that he brings. Something that Ottawa, you look at the three guys up top. Cito's probably the pacier of the three guys there, and Jimmy Shamar-Sano brings a different level of octane to pace.
Let's have a look at the 11 for both teams quickly. As Ottawa's going with Callum Irving in goal, back three of Obasi, Del Campo, and Venter. In midfield, Barden, Minicio, Roseboom, and Edward. It's Cito, Depew, and Salazar up top. As it comes back to Callum Irving, and he'll launch it forward. Fury moving left to right in this second half with their all-red kits. And this is headed out for a corner right off the bat. The Riverhounds moving right to left. They're all blue kits, and they're going with a 4-4-2. Back four of Washington, Greenspan, Jack, and Duffy. Thompson, Sudo, Okai, and Hollingsworth in midfield. Herzog and Kerr up top as Fury will work this corner in from the far corner flag. Sergio Minicio in the box as Salazar delivers. Cleared away, and Pittsburgh looking to counter here as they work it forward on the left side. It's Hollingsworth. He'll slow it down and comes back to Jack Thompson.
Well, what we saw there looked very familiar from Wednesday night, and that's how Edmonton got their second goal of the match. Was off a counter from an Ottawa corner, and Ottawa again almost got caught with numbers forward. Bit of miscommunication there between Cito and Barden that led to that opportunity from Pittsburgh, but they slowed it up once they got into Ottawa's half.
Fury in possession, it's Benicio, center circle. Plays this wide left. Good ball for Michael Salazar here. It's Barden. Move that on the left side. Salazar, though, goes back with it. Obasi works to 25 yards out. Now to Salazar. Trying to get the cross in, and he will win another corner for Ottawa Fury FC.
Well, you gotta like the start inside the opening 2 minutes of the second half from Ottawa. They certainly have the size advantage here on the set pieces. Martin Del Campo coming forward, as we mentioned, the 6'5" frame of Nick Depew in there. Onwell Bassi also inside the 6-yard box.
Well, last time it was a right-footed in-swinger from Salazar. This time a left-footed out-swinger from the same spot. As the delivery from Cito flicked on, and it's knocked off the line as Edward got that last touch, but Roseboom wins it back. Little back heel from Depew, comes back out, and a long-range effort goes over the bar from Onwell Bassi. Goal kick, Pittsburgh, but Ottawa coming on. A couple of good chances early in the second half. 0-0, 49th minute.
Yeah, definitely the most dangerous chance there is Depew gets the header, and then a bit of a redirection there from Eddie Edward, cleared off the goal line. If there's a guy you want to see score at home,
yeah,
it's definitely Eddie Edward. I would love nothing more than to see the hometown guy get a goal. He usually has a contingent of, 15 to 20 friends and family strong every match.
He has scored one goal in Fury colors, but
first goal in USL history for the club.
Unfortunately, unless you were at the game, no one actually saw it.
Yeah, some technical difficulties in St. Louis. And that's kind of the running joke with kind of his friends and family and teammate is like, well.
Are you sure you scored, Eddie? Really?
Poor guy.
They didn't just do you a solid there? And of course, who's more fired up about this Ottawa-Pittsburgh doubleheader than anyone, and that's Eddie Edward, the team's biggest Ottawa Senators fan. Even we had Lance Roseboom on the radio yesterday as Fury win it here, and it is Eddie Edward with a good ball that goes off the crossbar from distance. Wow, what an effort there from Eddie Edward as he almost scored an absolute beauty.
Well, I'm trying to get a read on this as we have a look at it again to see if that was an intended cross or if he was going for goal. And wow, curls it right to the back post and off the woodwork. And well, if you look at where he was looking at goal. And he had Trey Mitchell cleanly beat. He didn't even budge.
I had Lance Roseboom on the radio yesterday on TSN 1200, and he was joking about how big a hockey fan and how big a Sens fan Eddie Edward is. He's certainly fired up about that, but fired up. It's just great to have local guys playing here in Ottawa, like Jamar Dixon, like we had last year with Maxime Tissot.
And Tissot, after being released by DC United, no longer a member of the Richmond Kickers as he was on loan there, and has since signed with former Fury head coach Mark DeSantos and the San Francisco Deltas in the NASL.
Pittsburgh attacking here, and Obasi comes across, and they're calling him for a foul. It looks like it.
Yeah, he clipped the back heels of Marshall Hollingsworth.
So free kick from a dangerous spot for Pittsburgh, who really have been under siege here early in the second half. This will be between the 18-yard box and the near touchline. And a right-footed delivery from 20 yards out is headed away off that Kevin Kerr free kick. Kyle Venter with the clear, but it comes in, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh against the run of play. It's Corey Herzog with the header, a free header right inside the 6-yard box, and Pittsburgh takes the lead in the 52nd minute.
Well, despite a good clearance on the initial free kick, the mark was just missed, and Herzog was able to find all kinds of space. Just completely missed in a free header right on top of the 6-yard box. And the first goal that Fury FC have conceded at home this season. And the Pittsburgh Riverhounds take the 1-0 lead in the 52nd minute through Corey Herzog's 5th of the season.
Well, now Ottawa will look to open this game up even more, and they've certainly opened it up early in the second half. It's amazing how things go in this sport sometimes. I mean, they just finished their best 6 minutes maybe of the match, the first 6 minutes of this second half, and boom, finally Pittsburgh gets into the opposition half, and it's 1-0.
Well, as I said when we're looking at the keys to victory here, and this Pittsburgh Riverhounds team is a resilient side, and they certainly know how to take their chances. They've scored 11 goals in the USL this season. And Corey Herzog, almost 50% of the offense for the Riverhounds, with a big goal there.
Venter called for the foul near touchline, is going down is the goal scorer Herzog. A reminder that fans can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts. That's Monday at 9 o'clock on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Venter going back for it, but Kevin Kerr able to get past him. Now Herzog in the middle, chested down. Sudo with a shot, and that's stopped by the keeper Irving. Is shot dead center and in good position to make the save and scoop it up. 55th minute, Ottawa Fury FC 0, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 1.
Well, Soto scored a big goal last week for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in that 1-0 win over Toronto FC. It's his rookie season with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Spent his NCAA career with Akron. Prior to that, had spent 10 years with Corinthians in their youth academy.
Yeah, one of the biggest clubs in Brazil, is Pittsburgh certainly getting confidence from that 1-0 goal, because they're attacking again here. The ball down the right side coming from Herzog, and now it's a Pittsburgh throw taken quickly. Richie Duffy has it.
Well, you're right, AJ. They certainly look a lot more energized since that goal from Corey Herzog.
Okai wins a header for the Riverhounds as it comes to Jack Thompson. Trying to pick out Kevin Kerr, and this will go out for an Ottawa throw. 56th minute, Fury trailing by 1.
We'll have a quick look at out-of-town scores, and this is the only match in the USL this afternoon, kicking off at 5 o'clock. FC Cincinnati home to Orlando City.
Offside flag up against Pittsburgh.
Toronto FC 2 home to Bethlehem Steel. Richmond Kickers host the Harrisburg City Islanders at 7 o'clock. Also at 7, the Charleston Battery home to St. Louis. That promises to be an entertaining match. Tampa Bay Rowdies home to Louisville at 7:30. At 8 o'clock, it's Tulsa taking on Orange County. San Antonio, the top team in the entire USL. They take on Sounders 2. Rio Grande Valley Toros take on Swope Park Rangers. That one kicks off at 8:30. And then at 9:30, it's Real Monarchs taking on Sacramento Republic. And then Phoenix will close out the night with a 10:30 kickoff against OKC Energy. Catch all those matches live on USLsoccer.com on the Match Center.
Free kick Ottawa inside their own half as we enter the 58th minute. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Reminder that Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Fury in possession inside their own half. Del Campo goes left for Obasi. Ball forward, and here comes Cito making a run. And when he stopped, that stopped Depew's run, and his ball went out for a goal kick, and we will see the first substitution for Ottawa. Jimmy Chamar-Sanon will come on, and the fourth official forgot to, oh, there we go. Got the lights on now, and Sanon will replace Cito up top.
Well, we talked about this at the halftime. Expected to see a player like Sanon come into the match. Very pacey player. Ottawa certainly have lots of pace now down either side, with Sanon on the left and Eddie Edward coming up through the midfield on the right.
Pittsburgh working it back to their keeper, Trey Mitchell, who really hasn't been troubled since the Pittsburgh goal. He was troubled certainly early in this second half, but Pittsburgh's really found a different gear since scoring, as Ottawa has a throw just inside the Pittsburgh half. Taken here by Venter. It comes to Manicio. Pittsburgh wins possession, and they just play this out for another Ottawa throw inside their own half. Here's Ramon Martin Del Campo. Lance Roseboom. Back to the keeper, and Irving will get it to Roseboom. Venter gives up possession. Okai. Gonna spring Hollingsworth, and Callum Irving has it for Ottawa.
Yeah, there's a bad giveaway there by Venter, and it's just St. Louis, or sorry, St. Louis, that's a good one. Pittsburgh was playing with such a high line of pressure. Haven't seen that much from them this game. They've been chasing the ball down when it's played back to Callum Irving, but for the last 15 minutes of the first half, you didn't see them press very high, and now since that goal here in the second half, really pressing Ottawa's back line.
I was going to say, well, they both have NHL teams that came into the league in the same year, 1967, the Blues and the Penguins. They both have baseball teams that play in the National League Central, and the Pirates and also the Cardinals. But unfortunately for St. Louis, they do not have the National Football League anymore, so that's where you can't make that comparison like for like. They do have the Arch, though.
You always find a way to get your dig in, right?
It's not a dig. It's,
well, not at Pittsburgh.
I've been to all 50 states. I've got to spread my
You've done
knowledge
the 50
of
states?
Yes.
Yeah. Alaska too.
Played hockey in Alaska.
Hawaii?
Went there when I was 5. That's the longest wait. Which means I need to go back there.
Right. Well, you are due for a vacation.
I'd say so.
You remind me that quite frequently.
Pittsburgh player getting treatment is now up. And that's Richie Duffy. And he will be replaced here by Romeo Parks. So that's the first substitution for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh actually a terrific underrated city though. Enjoy it tremendously, and certainly I'm sure a lot of Ottawa people will be enjoying it in the next couple of weeks, going down there either to work the broadcast if you're media, or I'm sure some Sens fans will be heading to Pittsburgh as well.
Well, and that'll be the final stop of the USL regular season for Ottawa Fury FC on the 14th of October when they travel to Highmark Stadium to take on the Riverhounds. Really cool stadium right on the water in Pittsburgh. Haven't been, but on the broadcast it looks spectacular. All I want to see is someone score a goal as the train goes by and sounds the horn.
Got a throw here for Pittsburgh in the 63rd minute. 1-0 Riverhounds.
So Romeo Parks, who's just come into the game, made in his first season with Pittsburgh as native of Jamaica, has played in the...
Oh, here's a good effort from Depew from 20 yards out and forcing a save into the keeper, Trey Mitchell.
Well, best save of the day from Trey Mitchell, and probably the second best chance of the afternoon for Ottawa.
That's
sort of the one from Eddie Edward.
Salazar goes down, but he's the one picking up the foul for Ottawa. It'll be a free kick for Pittsburgh inside their own half. 64th minute, they lead 1-0.
Parks has been capped by the Jamaican national team, has played under 20 and under 23 as well, and came over from playing in El Salvador.
Pittsburgh get this to Parks right now in a quick turn, and he's got pace, works it up, and goes off of Corey Herzog and right to the keeper. Herzog still with the only goal in this one for Pittsburgh, coming in the 52nd minute.
Well, and since Parks has come on, they've dropped Marshall Hollingsworth back into that right back position.
Sanon for Salazar. Now Roseboom. Here's Jimmy Shamar Sanon. Muscled off the ball by Suto. Work it down the right side, and good ball here for Parks. Offside flag stays down, and it'll be a goal kick as he put that shot towards the back post and didn't miss by much.
Yeah, that was tight. I thought he was about a yard in behind the back line before that ball was played through to him. Nonetheless, a good effort, but missing about a yard wide of the back post.
Here's Obasi making a run. Good ball now to Sano. Here's Jimmy Shamar Sano. Moves into the middle. Can he get the shot away? And the right-footed effort deflects out for a corner. As Ottawa with their best attacking sequence since conceding the opening goal to Pittsburgh.
A great run by Onowo Obasi, who lays it off to Jimmy Shamar Sano, who found space cutting to the middle.
Salazar ready to deliver this free kick, a right-footed outswinger, near corner flag towards the back post, and it's headed outside the penalty area by Taylor Washington, but comes into Obasi and just couldn't get the shot away from about 20 yards out as it comes back to Minicio center circle, and he'll play it all the way back to the keeper for Ottawa, Callum Irving. Ball forward for Depew. Here's Nick Depew. Back to Obasi. Into the middle, Del Campo. Now on the right, Venter. Venter trying to play a through ball here, and it goes out, looking for Depew for a goal kick, and this will be substitution number 2 for Pittsburgh. Mike Green will come on for Stephen Okai. No relation to the Detroit Red Wings defenseman. Header won by Del Campo for Ottawa. Inside his own half, center circle. Depew, it comes on the left now. Barden for Sano. Now back to Kyle Venter. And he'll go all the way back to Callum Irving. 68th minute. Riverhounds leading 1-0. Sent forward, and Salazar knocked to ground, and referee just says play on as a collision there, and also on the ground is Joe Greenspan. So both trainers will come out to apply treatment to Pittsburgh's Joe Greenspan and Ottawa's Michael Salazar.
Well, you had 6'6" crunching down on top of 5'11".
So why is this happening to you?
Both are up, and Greenspan walking, and Salazar jogging off toward the touchline as Greenspan walks towards the touchline. Both are going to be able to come back in.
Tucker Hume on the Ottawa sideline getting kitted up, and he'll be coming in on the next break in play.
Referee letting a lot go both ways here. Here comes Lance Roseboom with a good run, but the ball just got away from him, and Jack will take over for Pittsburgh as it comes into the middle for Green. Now on the left, it's Washington. Here's the goal scorer, Herzog, for Pittsburgh. Knocked off the ball by Minicio, and here's Obasi with another one of those marauding runs, but taken away from him, and Pittsburgh looks to counter here. It's Parks right up the middle. Here's Parks, and it's knocked back by Obasi to the keeper. And Irving will launch this into the Pittsburgh half as we played 70 minutes. Ottawa Fury FC 0, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 1.
Well, it's been a different Pittsburgh team in this second half, AJ, and more so since they scored that goal, as Ottawa looked the more dominant side in the opening 6 minutes, but since that goal from Corey Herzog.
Ball from Depew down the right side, but way too far for Sanon to get, and here comes substitution number 2 for Ottawa Fury FC, and we will see the two big strikers link up top as Eddie Edward comes off and Tucker Hume comes on, so Hume and Depew will work together here.
Well, now Jimmy Shamar-Sano will kind of tuck back over onto the right side, and Michael Salazar will drop into the midfield.
Pittsburgh attacking here, but Herzog, edge of the penalty area, couldn't get past Kyle Venter, who leads the counter attack. He stops and plays it back to Irving. One more substitution left for Ottawa. Their options include Jamar Dixon, Thomas Mayer-Giguère, Aaron Mukungilwa, Shane McElhaney, and backup keeper David Palme. For the Riverhounds, they've got their backup keeper Kiesel Broom, along with Gail Agbosamunde, Kay Banjo, Ben Fitzpatrick, and Abuchi Obinwa.
Nailed it.
Don't ask me to say it 5 times in a row.
You don't like Agbosamunde?
I do.
Well, we've only called his name for the last, 3 years, split between Fort Lauderdale and Tampa Bay. Former Toronto FC player as well.
Fury in possession inside their own half, down 1-0, 73rd minute. Comes to Ramon Martin Del Campo. Now on the left side for Obasi. Del Campo. For Venter. Trying to spring to Pugh, but he couldn't get to it, and Pittsburgh looked to counter here. It's Herzog in the middle for Kerr. Ball got away from him, and Fury will gain possession here. It's Sergio Minicio. Nice little 1-2, but Pugh's return pass for Lance Roseboom just beyond him as he was looking to break, and this will be a throw for Pittsburgh. Free kick, Riverhounds just inside their own half as it's worked center circle. Suto plays this right. And here's Romeo Parks with a good cross, headed towards goal by Kevin Kerr, and that is stopped by Callum Irving. And once again, Pittsburgh getting a free header from the edge of the 6-yard box as Ottawa concedes possession here once again.
It was just tireless work from Pittsburgh to keep the ball in play on the far side. And then a good delivery from Parks into the box and a dangerous header from close range. Unfortunately, was straight at Callum Irving.
Taylor Washington now for Pittsburgh. Suto moves this wide right. There's a run by Hollingsworth trying to 360 spin, but didn't come off. Suto, and flag is up. No doubt about that one for offside against Corey Herzog. As we've got a quarter of an hour remaining plus stoppage time for Ottawa to salvage something out of this home date with Pittsburgh. Their 5th match in 15 days. Romeo Parks, who's been very lively off the bench for Pittsburgh, knocked off the ball. It's played back to Callum Irving as Del Campo goes forward. Now on the left for Obasi. Here's Roseboom, just short of the halfway line. Lance Roseboom. And on the left side, Tucker Hume looking for the return pass, and Roseboom is sliding tackle, able to win it. And Roseboom has it right near the corner flag, trying to get a cross in, and that'll be deflected out for an Ottawa throw. And the supporters appreciate the work of the captain, Lance Roseboom.
Yeah, no question there, AJ. All heart behind Lance Roseboom, making his 39th straight start for Ottawa Fury FC.
Long throw from Tucker Hume, and he's going to force a corner out of this.
Well, and now you get the big boys forward here. You've got 6'5" Tucker Hume, 6'5" Nick Depew, 6'4" Onomo Obasi, 6'2" Ramon Martin Del Campo. All kinds of height in there. Need good delivery from Michael Salazar.
Here is the delivery by Salazar, and I think a touch on that was Depew, but goes out now for another Ottawa throw.
Yeah, I think it took a deflection because Taylor Washington made quite the effort to make sure it stayed in play.
Another long throw from Tucker Hume, and he can get a lot of mileage behind that ball. It comes back outside the penalty area. Obasi, fancy footwork, left-footed drive, and just couldn't hit the target, but didn't miss by much from about 20 yards out. Great effort from Onwo Obasi to try to level it.
I was hoping he was going to have a go there because he made a nifty move to beat his man. And a good left-footed strike from about almost 25 yards out.
Into the 78th minute now. And soon to be 79th. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Header won by Obasi. Comes back. And it's chested down by Kerr, but here comes Ottawa on the break. Salazar, good ball down the right, trying to get it to Depew, and coming off his line to collect it. The keeper for Pittsburgh, Trey Mitchell. Ottawa getting more dangerous as this second half progresses. And can they get the equalizer here with 11.5 minutes left plus stoppage time?
Well, the game certainly has opened up now for both sides in the last 10 minutes or so. Seen some very determined runs by Sano and Obasi, Salazar, and of course the captain Lance Roseboom.
Pittsburgh in possession right now. Parks had a lunge at that and couldn't keep it, so Benicio gets it for Salazar. Ball on the right for John Barden. Takes a touch, gets the cross in, and slice that, and that will be a goal kick for Pittsburgh. Again, Ottawa in action on Saturday against New York Red Bull 2 on the road, and then they will host Toronto FC on May 23rd in the Canadian Championship. Second MLS side to come to TD Place. Ottawa won last year 2-0 over Vancouver before losing on aggregate 3-2.
And the next home match for Pittsburgh will be next Saturday. They take on Louisville City at 7 o'clock, but of course they do have that match on the 17th against Chicago FC in the US Open Cup.
Pittsburgh throw here. Toward Kerr, now it comes to Herzog toward the byline, and he will deflect it off John Barden for a Pittsburgh corner. '82nd minute now. And a right-footed in-swinging delivery to come from Kevin Kerr from the near corner flag. Pittsburgh pushing 6 players into the 18-yard box. The delivery headed away, and it comes towards Salazar, but played back into the 18-yard box. And Taylor Washington, as Ottawa sends this back into the Pittsburgh half. Center circle, it's Sergio Minicio. With the ball on the right side, trying to spring Barden, but it's headed away from him and goes out for an Ottawa throw off of Kevin Kerr. Tucker Hume will launch this into the box once again. And even from 30 yards out, he can get good distance on this, no problem. Launches this high into the air, it's headed away. And here comes Pittsburgh, and they've got numbers on the break. Pittsburgh on the counter here. Kerr lays it off, and good work coming across by Venter as Ottawa's got a throw again inside the Pittsburgh half. No long throw here. It'll be Barden taking it. Barden in for Hume. And they call him for the foul. And free kick Pittsburgh inside their own half. Reminder that you can stay up to date with one of the top second division pro leagues in the world with all the latest news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com. You can also follow them on Twitter at USL. '84th minute, 1-0 Pittsburgh leads. As the Riverhounds attack on the right side, it's Hollingsworth. Just inside the Ottawa half, now to Parks. At the byline, plays this back. Mike Green. Comes back to Hollingsworth. Now Green. And his ball met by Obasi, and Fury push it through Roseboom, now to Salazar. Michael Salazar. Ball over the top, chested down by Depew. Comes back to Sanon. He's knocked down and he wins a free kick. About 20 yards out, and on the right side by the near touchline in the 85th minute. And Ottawa will push bodies forward for this set piece.
Well, and immediately going to the ball was Michael Salazar. He wanted a couple of those set pieces in the first half, and with Cito coming out in the first half, or sorry, in the second half as a sub. Presents an opportunity for Salazar to make his mark here for the Fury. Sano there with him as well.
Salazar, the Belize international. And here is the delivery from the right side as it deflects, and Tucker Hume had an opportunity on the volley, and he skied it, and he puts his head in his hands. Great opportunity for the tying goal there, but it remains 1-0 Pittsburgh in the 86th minute.
Well, they probably might have thought there might have been an effort on goal, but floated into the box and then flicked over. Well, that's a nice set play there, and Tucker Hume will want to have an opportunity again to bury a chance like that.
Will Ottawa get a better chance than that for the equalizer? They still have just over 4 minutes plus stoppage time here. And they also have a substitution if they want to use it as well. Right now they'll feel unlucky that they're at least not picking up a point. But against the run of play, it was Corey Herzog with the goal in the 52nd minute, a free header, and someone missed their responsibility inside, well, right at the edge of the 6-yard box.
Well, Fury FC have conceded 7 goals this year, AJ. All 7 have come against the run of play. Nothing conceded on set pieces. And all 7 have come inside the 18-yard box.
Salazar looking to win this, and it does come to Ramon Martin Del Campo. Ahead for Jimmy Shamar Sanon. He'll play it back to Obasi. On to Obasi for Roseboom. Middle of the park now to Michael Salazar. Touch let him down there. And it comes back inside the Ottawa half. Obasi, long diagonal ball for Depew, and trying to link up with Lance Roseboom. And now a yellow card comes up against Tucker Hume.
Yeah, the passion there from Lance Roseboom, but you also have to be in control, and he really he got all of Joseph Greenspan and sent him to the ground. And that's a big frame to knock over. Well, Roseboom has put in a tireless work ethic here this afternoon. Some very determined runs down the middle. And if the score ends as such, he is going to be the most frustrated man on the pitch for Ottawa.
89th minute, 1-0 Pittsburgh as Hume plays this on the left side for Sanon. Trying to win it, battling against Hollingsworth. So Roseboom, the first Ottawa player to earn a yellow card here today. As Fury have possession just inside their own half, it's still Campo. He'll play it back to the keeper Irving. And as Ottawa have some late drama here to try and earn a split of the points. Comes down to Minicio just inside this Pittsburgh half. Minicio, ball got away from him and went sliding in there to win it back, and he'll earn a yellow card for that. And so Minicio, the second Ottawa player to be booked here today, this time in the 90th minute.
Well, now a third and final substitution coming on here for Pittsburgh. It's Kay Banjo set to come into the match. Likely to replace one of the other forwards. It'll be Corey Herzog, my mistake, will be coming out. The goal scorer who has Pittsburgh in front 1-0 here this afternoon.
And it's a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time for Ottawa to work with. See if they can fashion a late equalizer. First touch here for Kay Banjo. Thompson trying to get it back to him, and this will go out for an Ottawa throw. Right back to the keeper, Irving. And here comes Ottawa on the left side. It's Obasi. Plays it over the top. And the header won by Pittsburgh's Joe Greenspan, as they'll boot it right back inside the Ottawa half. Irving outside the 18-yard box to launch this into the Pittsburgh half, and foul committed by the Riverhounds.
There's a handball by Mike Green, and he had all kinds of space to bring that under control. Tried to chest it down. catches the arm, and now everybody in red forward.
Even Sergio Minicio, who almost was given the even me, as Ottawa pushes everyone inside the 18-yard box outside of Salazar and the keeper Irving. Here's the delivery from Barden. Flicked on, comes towards Hume, but Hollingsworth wins it, and Ottawa fortunate that advantage wasn't played there, because Pittsburgh, with everyone up for Ottawa, had acres of open space, but it is a free kick nonetheless for the Riverhounds, with another 2 minutes of stoppage time to be played.
Yeah, that was an intelligent foul there by Tucker Hume, because the Riverhounds would have been away with numbers.
Launched high into the air and comes right back to the Ottawa keeper Irving. As everyone marches back into the Pittsburgh half. Irving's ball chested down by Suto, but Ottawa regains possession. Here's Del Campo, and he'll play it back to Irving. Sends this forward towards Tucker Hume. Flicks it on. Roseboom trying to play in Salazar. It comes back to him now on the right side. Barden with the cross, and again he slices it a couple of times in this second half. That's happened, unfortunately, to John Barden, and we've got about 1 minute and 15 seconds of stoppage time remaining for Ottawa to try and get the tying goal.
Yeah, quality needed to be better there from John Barden, as Lance Roseboom finds him in space on that right-hand side.
So goal kick taken by Pittsburgh and their keeper Trey Mitchell. Halfway line, it's just booted forward by Jack Thompson. It'll be another Ottawa throw. And this is their last chance here with about 30 seconds remaining. As the header comes right to Minicio. Plays this forward towards Tucker Hume. Now edge of the area. Here's Sano onto his left foot, the shot, and it deflects out. Great defensive play by Jamal Jack. Very important challenge, and Ottawa at least has won a corner with about 10 seconds remaining, and here comes Callum Irving as well.
A horrible defensive error there, and Sano really had to hit that one on the first time.
Here is the delivery. John Barden from the corner, headed towards goal, but it's over the top, and there is the final whistle. And the Pittsburgh Riverhounds will get all 3 points as Ottawa continues to struggle in league play. Third from bottom, 6 points in 7 matches, and a disappointing result. They had the better of the chances, Graham Ivory, but couldn't make them count. Final score, Ottawa Fury FC 0. Pittsburgh Riverhounds 1.
Yeah, the quality in the attacking third, AJ, is really what let Ottawa down on the afternoon. Defensively, again, they were fine. There was just that one miss mark that led to the goal, his 5th of the season by Corey Herzog, and that ultimately was the difference maker here this afternoon. But we saw Ottawa with lots of pressure, lots of balls delivered into the box there, and then that last chance by Jimmy Chamar-Sano knocked out for a corner. Good defensive play there. But ultimately for Ottawa, and Paul Dalglish said this in his halftime interview with Sinisa Shindik, like, the chances are coming in that attacking third. We have to bury one. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do that this afternoon, and Pittsburgh collect a huge 3 points away from home, and that will vault them up the standings as well.
Man of the match today is Ottawa's Onwo Obasi.
Yeah, look, Onwo Obasi had a fantastic game, kind of in that left-back role, and how many times do we see this guy run forward, put several good balls in? You could have picked anyone in that attacking role from Ottawa, but when you see a defensive player do stuff like this, you know, this guy's got a special touch, and had a good opportunity on goal as well that just missed wide. Really liked the game from Obasi this afternoon.
That does it for us here this afternoon as Ottawa Fury FC falls 1-0 to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Coming up, it's our next broadcast, and it comes to you on Saturday from New York as they take on New York Red Bull 2, and then, of course, on Wednesday, the 23rd of May, look forward to that Canadian Championship semifinal match against Toronto FC. On behalf of our entire crew and Graham Ivory, I'm AJ Jakubek saying so long. This has been Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
This copywritten telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.